two words to describe myself, beginning with K and N, would be naughty. I get naughty hair, I'm naughty in the mind, and I get a naughty back when I go for a massage. Like, naughty. And then N would be slightly neurotic. Quite an emotional person. My favourite place to read is my local pub. I love to go in on a hot day or a cold day, whatever, get a nice pint of cider, have a really good book and sit in the corner on a little table and just, while away a few hours. So yeah, I've really missed that during lockdown, and it's probably going to be the first thing I do once lockdown lifts. There wasn't really a point where I knew I wanted to be a writer. There was a moment though where I certainly knew I was going to be a writer. So I've always written, and then when I hit about 31, I realised that perhaps somebody like me could become a writer, because things had changed sort of in the industry, I guess, and I realised there were more opportunities. So I can remember I was about 30 or 31 one day. I sat on the edge of my bed and I just thought to myself, I'm going to be published by the time I'm 35. It's happening. And I was really, really lucky that it's happened. I mean, I'm 36, so I'm a year late, but it has happened. So I'm lucky. I would describe King of Rabbits as a tragedy. It's about a young boy who is mixed race and who lives in a council house in a village in Somerset. He's just a boy who's trying to find peace and security in a world that's very confusing and chaotic for him. So he often goes off to the woods, to his den, to sort of escape the family life. It was always my intention to write about a boy, that it needed to be a boy, and the fact that he's mixed race, that just makes sense to me because I'm mixed race. I don't think I would have felt right writing a white or a black boy. It just wasn't, I just want to write what I know. People say to write what you know, so a hell of a lot of this book is writing about what I know. I mean, the emotional impact of writing King of Rabbits was pretty hardcore because there are a lot of things going on that were tough to write. There is addiction in the book, and it's really tough to write scenes where a little boy is around parental drug use. But this is what happens in the world, and for me, it was really important to bring that into people's minds, and also to make it really clear that the things that some young lads are going through, so it was hard to write, and then also just the experience of being a debut novelist and not really knowing how to write, I guess. So I had to do a lot of rewriting. So then it was kind of like hitting myself again with it. I kind of described it like self-flagellation. I've got this emotional bit. It gets quite painful at times to write, and then when you have to rewrite it because you're not a really experienced writer, it's like you're smacking yourself in the face with it again. But it's done now. I knew the shape of the tragedy before I started the book. It was very clear in my mind where the book had to end up, because of where it came from. So it was thinking about a person that my brother knew in real life, a good friend of his, and a decision he had made a long time ago. So yeah, I knew the shape of the tragedy, and I guess as writers what we do is try to make sense of things, and some things really haunt you. So I think it's really important to use writing, to use your art form, to kind of think about that, reflect and learn. The advice I would give to a new black writer, it's quite a difficult question for me because I know that being light-skinned mixed race, it's different to being a black lad or a black girl, and trying to, your experience and my experience are going to be completely different. Like, one of my brothers is a lot darker than I am, and my dad was a lot darker skinned, so their experiences in this world have been completely different to mine. So it is a difficult question for me to answer, but the things that I would say, just like as a person to you, would be write as well as you can, write in your own voice, which basically means just say it how you would say it. Know that your voice is worthy of being on the shelves, because it is. That's something I really struggled with, and I was really lucky to have a lecturer at uni that basically really sort of drummed it into me that my work was worthy. And then on days when you're struggling a bit, which will happen, to look up other writers that really inspire you. And so maybe it might be other black writers that are doing, that are established, that you can, watch their interviews online, or, things on TV to really like pump you up and think, yeah, I can do this too. So yeah, I mean, the industry is getting better and there is more opportunities now, which is good, but it can be frustrating. I know there are certain things that I don't always feel completely happy about, and my experience, like I said a moment ago, is that it will be different. So, but the most important thing is that black people's voices need to be out there, and that's ultimately what matters. As Sam Cooke said, change gonna come. So it's time for that change. There is another novel coming. It's very bizarre. I tend to lean towards subjects that are quite hard to swallow. For me, I feel like as a writer, I want to look in the face of those things that are tough in life and try to understand them or make sense of them or learn from them how to cope with certain things. So my next novel is actually about grief and death and the strangeness of it. So it is kind of a strange book, and it's going to take a very courageous person to read it. But it's a fun write. So hopefully one day it will be on shelves. We'll see.